Hello, and welcome to another episode of Discover You Rising. Real stories, real women, real successes. So, today, my guest with us is Susie Kuse, and Susie works with AI Beauty. And she helps aesthetics practices and beauty businesses build and grow using AI. Her LinkedIn profile shares that before beauty, Susie spent 2 decades building tech systems that didn't feel or make you want to throw the remote clear across the room. She co-founded a business called Cedia to make smart homes actually feel smart. Then they were simple, seamless, and effortless. She brought that same make it simple mindset into beauty, making products and tools easy for customers, clients, and pros to use. Now she does it with AI for aesthetics businesses and product makers. She makes the tools make sense. That would be nice. No tech headaches, no busy work. AI doesn't give you homework, it gives you leverage. How would you like to explain that a little bit, Susan?
It sure does give you leverage because it makes your life a lot simpler when you know how to use it properly. But I'm a geek. I'm a I'm a fairly geeky person, and I started out in technology, and selling selling stereo systems. And I used to design audio and video systems that would go through your whole house, and you could use them from any room. You could turn on any room. You could turn on all the rooms, kind of like what smart home does for you today. But this was 30 years ago, and so we were creating the technology, and some of the first companies to do that was, I don't know if you remember a company called Bang& Olufsen. They're, I think, still
Yes.
around today, but they had one of the first multi-room audio systems, and we did a lot of Bang& Olufsen installations. We did home theaters. We did home theaters that looked like theaters with theater seating and starlit ceilings and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun to do. It was a lot of fun. And so, my job was to make your system, Mr. Customer, so easy that you don't have to call me at 10 o'clock at night trying to figure out how to turn on your TV and get the movie you want to watch. So we made it really, really simple. And CEDIA is the acronym for the Custom Electronic Design and Installation Association. That's a trade association that we founded because we found in the electronics industry there's like so many huge companies, and the electronic design and installation people were all really small companies, and so they alone, none of them had a real big voice because they weren't buying tens of millions of dollars worth of equipment. But we figured if we got together, we would have a little bit of, the companies would notice us. And now that trade show, I think our first trade show, we had like 100 people. They had 10,000 people at their last trade show. So
Wow.
that organization has really grown. And it was fun to get off the ground with that. But I went from there into, and you know what? My dog is looking out the window. She might let us know that somebody's coming. Just,
Okay.
I'm hoping there she walked away. Okay. So I went from there into selling communication systems because I thought that I should really go to corporate for some reason. I thought that was a really great idea. And I was there for several years, and I learned a lot about technology, and I learned a lot about corporate sales, and I learned a lot. And but I also learned that I wasn't a great corporate citizen. I didn't really like being a corporate citizen, and I wanted to do my own thing. So in about 2002, I left corporate America and I started my own spa. I wanted to be as far away from technology as I could get. And then I found out I wasn't really that far away from technology. It was just a different kind of technology. So it was, more biology or biology centered. Skincare was, based on biology, but there's also a lot of biochemistry involved.
Right.
And so there was that, and then there were tools, microneedling was really big when I was getting out of the spa, but I moved into selling products to other spas, and I covered the southern 13 states, and I sold to resort spas and day spas and medical spas. And then so I sold some equipment and I sold some products, and it was really really interesting. And again, there's a lot of technology behind microneedling and lasers and all that kind of stuff. So and we offered lasers in my spa too. So I felt like I had to know about what I was selling to people, and so I learned a lot there too. And then so I had a little health hiccup in 2013, and I just like it was I think it was probably 2013 was 13. It was like perimenopause, but back even just that far back, people weren't really talking about that, and I would go to the doctor and say, I really feel terrible. I don't have any energy. My brain is just all foggy. I cry at the drop of a hat. I can't focus on anything. And they would say, you're just tired, dear. You need to go home and rest. And I'm like, well, I have a job and I have a family, and when am I going to rest? you know? So anyways, I was laying in bed one morning and I thought, what can I do from bed? Because I can't get up today. So I thought, geez, you know what? I could start an online store. And so I did. I started an online store. I didn't start, my first store wasn't a skincare store because I wanted to make all my mistakes on something that didn't matter as much to me. So I just started selling leggings and clothing and stuff like that online. And then I eventually moved into selling skincare. I started a new company called Indie Beauty Market, and I started selling natural and organic skincare lines. And I did that for 6 years, and I really enjoyed it. But in November of 2022, ChatGPT evolved, it came to life, and I was looking at it and playing with it and thinking, this is really cool. This is really cool. And I contacted a friend of mine that I'd known for many, many years. You know him, Joshua Boswell.
Oh,
And
yes.
I said, because Joshua is always at the bleeding edge of all technology. And I asked him, I said, have you played with this ChatGPT thing? And he said, yes, it's fantastic. I love it. And I said, do you? I said, I'm not really sure that I love it yet. I said, tell me why you like it. And he said, well, let me show you what I did for my neighbor. His neighbor had a landscaping company, and Joshua's not involved with landscaping at all.
No, no.
He's barely got any plants in his yard. But but he took that neighbor's website and his whole funnel system and revamped it using AI. And he got him, he increased his sales by 3 times in a month.
Wow.
And it was incredible. And I was like, holy cow, how did you do that? And so he sent me all this information on what he did and how he did it and how he mined the AI to help him find the exact perfect customers for his landscape architect neighbor. And showed me how I could do that for Indie Beauty Market as well. So I started playing with that with Indie Beauty Market, and I took my email open rate from 15%, which is dismal, as anyone who does email knows, to 60%. And
That's great.
that was, yeah, that was solid. I mean, it was really solid. I think if I had cleaned my list one more time, I could have gotten it higher, but I was happy with that, and it was going well. But so I started AI Beauty Consulting a year later in about early 2024-ish. And no, I'm sorry, excuse me. I think it was the end of 2024. And I really wanted to get this off the ground, but the store took a lot of my time, and also I'm a golfer, and so between golf and indie beauty market and AI beauty consulting, one of those three things had to go because there just wasn't enough time in the day or the week or the month to get everything done. And so I decided to close my store last December. I decided before December, but I closed it in December, which was a really difficult decision for me to make because I had 20 brands that, I knew and loved the owners and, know them and all that. But I decided I really thought that I could help people a lot more through teaching them to use AI than
Wow.
through skincare. So I decided this was going to be it, and because I wasn't going to give up golf. So, but yeah. So now AI Beauty Consulting has a little assessment that you can take, and you can go online to aibeautyconsulting.com/assessment. Take this assessment. It's about 10 or 12 questions. It's like, who are you and what's your email address, and then and then it asks you a bunch of questions about your business, and then we take those results and we mix them up with our AI in the background, and we give it a bunch of human brains to look at it as well, and then we come back to you within 24 hours with a growth plan. And it tells you what you're doing well already, what's serving you. It tells you where are the areas that AI could make a difference for you. And we give you 3 to 6 opportunities that you could use AI and see an increase in your business. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. One is I have some mini guides that I have written for you. So I have a group of 5 that are based on marketing and communication, and then 5 that are based on operations and, streamlining the backside of your business. And so those are available for the DIY people out there who want to do it themselves, or maybe ask me a question or two about those and then take it from there. But those are geared to be like, each mini guide will give you 1 to 3 steps that you can do in about a day. I think the first one is about a week, but after that it's about a day, and then you should see results in a week. So it focuses on one specific thing. Do this with AI. Do this with AI, and you'll start to see results. So that's for the people that are, they want to go toes in first, and or don't want, they think they want to do it themselves. They could also hand it off to anybody in their organization or somebody else, a friend of theirs that's, tech savvy. Although you don't have to be tech savvy to use those mini guides at all. So, I mean, if you can write an email, you can use those mini guides. So that's one way to do it. And then the growth plan is a little further out. It's a 3 to 6 month plan. Generally, I write 6-month plans, and I write like, here's what you can do. Here are 3 places or 6 places where you can use AI. Here's how I would do it. And I lay that out, and I lay it out in months 1 to 2, months 3 to 4, months 5 to 6. This is what you'll do. These are the results you'll expect. Here's how to know it's working. And so it's a nice little growth plan that can really help streamline some stuff, make your life easier, increase your revenue, make your clients happier, all that kind of stuff. Everything that people are looking to do but may not know exactly where to start. And so that's what I'm doing.
That sounds excellent.
It's
Excellent.
fun.
Absolutely. So, if you'd like to learn more about what Susie does, if you're interested in taking her assessment and see what she'd recommend for your business, you'll find the links in the show notes, and just reach out, give her a call, tell her you saw the podcast, and she'll get you some answers back within 24 hours. What if they submit Friday afternoon?
It depends. It depends if I'm traveling that weekend or not.
Yeah, if it's raining, then they might get an answer. If it's sunny the next day, where
Then
Susie lives, then she's probably on the golf course.
I might have to take like 4 or 5 hours to go play golf, but
Yeah, there you go. There you
yeah.
go.
But
Well,
usually I
thank
have time to get it done.
that's That's great, Susie. Thank you so much for being my guest and for being here.
My
And
pleasure.
I'm
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. And watch for the information in the show notes so you can see how you can get in touch with Susie and learn more about how you can conquer AI for leverage instead of homework.
Excellent.
Thank you.